Hello everyone, welcome back. I think I should lower a little bit this volume. I guess someone will let me know soon, hopefully. Okay, hopefully we're good. Let's get back. Yeah, alright. So, our modules, so to speak, what are those? Yeah, on our contributor guide, project walkthrough, so we can add an API for Etzner, AWS, DigitalOcean. We can add SSH keys for the servers we manage, and we can generate on the fly. So I'm gonna come and bring this, and if all goes well, I'm gonna migrate fresh seed. How are these migrations? Let me just get a sanity check. I'm in the seeder. Yeah, so it just creates the user. So migrate fresh seed, and if all goes well, yeah. So I need to find, how is the blurred? Yeah. I need to find the token. So I can use it. Okay, just a second. Let's go. And I'm gonna go into Etzner, our dashboard. And we are going into the console cloud. Yep. And in Alfredo, we are going to generate an API token. Oh, still the same. I forgot to remove it, so we should be good still. So I should have it in .env. So if I will copy this token, should be good now. So if I were to make a new credential, and I'm gonna say let's use the Etzner Alfredo token, and I'm gonna say it's an API token, and I just create it. We should be good. Checking the dashboard. Okay, so whoop. So the credentials are done. So next is the server. So we can generate SSH keys on the fly. So that's when we will add a key. We will generate it, right? It will be there, and we create it, and now it's there. Right. So we're gonna start with deploying a server. And for that, deploy Etzner VPS. And for the credentials, let's use this token. There's a name for the server, and this is in an action, so check, create, yeah. So the credential, so now the server is different. Because the server, yeah, so things are fundamentally different now. So resources, no, in fact, let's get from tests. This has to be different now. So we have a user, and acting as that user, we're gonna create a credential. That's okay, same. So, and now this is where things are changing. Because authorized SSH keys are not anymore something like so. Let me change this name. It's not an Etzner deployment, it's execute deploy Etzner VPS. This is what's going on, right? Okay, sounds more reasonable. So a server will stop having, yeah, it doesn't have anymore the SSH keys, so the arguments data might be just fine because that's the data we need to do the thing, but the credential, yeah, an array of authorized SSH keys, da, da, da. Yeah, that's right. We want, so where is this SSH key? Was it Yeah, so it's being created. It's an existing. So what we need is to create the SSH key before. That's it. So like the credential, we need to have an SSH key created before. So in this case, we are having some previously done, but we don't need those. I mean, or for now, let's ignore those. Username and password. I mean, that's something arguably we could keep, we can keep, because we won't have on the credential. Is there a type? Yeah. Yeah, API token, SSH key. I think username and password we will stick. We will still have on the server model. I guess that's just fine. Whoop. We don't need to overcomplicate it. So this is there, so the server.php. It's sudo password. Yeah. I guess let's sudo password. Yeah, let's keep it sudo password. It's the user password. Username, sudo password. When we create a server, we won't be creating the SSH key. There are activity logs, there are spaces. I mean, we might have to check those, but let's see. Space folders path, yeah. Should we make it configurable? Should we make it configurable? Yeah, let's make it. Yeah, okay, spaces directory. So it's gonna be this spaces directory. Okay. So lonely today. Okay, let's get back. Let's start fresh. So, and no harm, we can do it all. So, the credential creation has to be like original. And how come isn't the type a mandatory one? So how can you create a credential on the test without providing it? I guess we just didn't run this before. Let's just run it and let's see what's up. Oh yeah, exactly. So that's more assuring. Yeah, we have been a lot of time with heavy major refactoring going here. Not refactoring here, even credential type. So these we are creating an API token. That's it. It's for that user ID, and the value is such. We don't mind that it's making .env calls directly instead of calling services. This is not application layer. This is a local test. So, not only that, if we are deploying an Etzner VPS, we are creating a new one. So we should create an SSH key, and that's exactly a credential create again. But this time is gonna be our first SSH key, and it's gonna be an SSH key, yeah. That's all right. Right. It's going to have a name and a public and private key. And in order to do that, we will use the key pair generator. Is it this one? No, this we are running. OMG, let me find. Oh, we have so much to fix. That's all right. Solid spaces, key pair generator. So where are we using the PHP sec lab public key loader? Yeah, it's the create credential. So where is this function? Oh, this shouldn't be here. Yeah, so let's make a create SSH key action. And we are So this generator, it's not used anymore because, yeah, this is like not horrible, but these would be using return new key pair. Yeah, these we will use. Where would we be registering? Register a shutdown function. Oh, in the temporary directory, yeah, because that's where it would run. Hopefully we can get out of this stuff, but let's see what's going on. Okay, so let's create an SSH key and let's call it handle, and let's do it. So this create credentials, not used anymore. And instead of returning so and so, we would return a new key pair. Only that the private key it would be like so, and the public key would be like so. And hopefully we're doing good. Okay, so we can create an SSH key and receive a new key pair, right? Fantastic. So the new key pair, the SSH key, is as the model, but the key pair, so to speak, is going to be the resolution of the create SSH key class, and then handle. So what's there, yeah. So that key pair is now the public key and the private key. So this SSH key is a model on the database. So we'll see the key pair and the SSH key if all goes well. And I'm gonna run it. And Ray will find it, and yeah, okay. So we need to find the models. And so the credential, what is that? Both the credential and the server are handling with, yeah, so private key, public key, sudo password. Okay. Yeah, so when we use a username and password, yeah, but we don't have it for now, so let's not. Database migrations, database migrations, and the credentials. If we're not using username and password, yeah, fantastic. So we're gonna run it again, and we're good to go. So now that we are will execute the action, yeah, with these arguments. So set action is going to be running with a name, a server type. So this is all about the new stuff. So yeah, so above here, sudo password, yeah, also belongs to the, yeah, it's also to the form. So the Etzner SSH keys are the ones on the dashboard. So credential ID and these ones will be the authorized SSH keys, meaning it's inside one of those. Yeah, so I guess this has to fail right there. Yeah, it's missing one parameter. So those are public SSH keys. Exactly, so authorized SSH keys let's make it with one for now. And that's it, it's gonna be properly called. Okay, so this is the data, and what we are running is this deployment. So this deployment. We have the credential based on, we'll get the credential based on the credential UUID, because that's what we are getting from the form, right? So I guess we could get the same. When are we giving? Yeah, we might give more than one, so authorized SSH keys. Okay. What's happening is, yeah, the public SSH keys, yeah, so we're not retrieving a key pair anymore. Oh, but also the SSH key. Yeah, got it. Here is now a credential with credential, which is an SSH key. So all this should work. But it's not like so, it's like so, if I'm not mistaken. So let's generate, yeah, private key, yeah, arguments to array, and we add the public SSH keys that will be added on the server, yeah, and the credential value. Okay, good. And we were making this to test locally, right? We would get the Ansible output. Yeah, but yeah, now let's hit the API. And we are storing that output, just delete it just because. And then based on the server response, we will get data in JSON, we will blah blah blah, we will get it. Yeah, so this server being created needs SSH key. So app models, and now I'm thinking this key pair could probably be a model of its own. Oh, damn it. So, tasks, hopefully that's done. So the credentials could also belong to a server ID. That's it. And because of that, we would now have the server and all keys would now get, so when we map, it's like the credential, we would update the server ID to the server ID. Why is that? Oh, polymorphic call, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let's run it. Oh, right, the data, I saw it before, and then I forgot. We have to check this because, yeah, it's gonna be sudo password and this user password. Okay, we'll change it to sudo password, but then the deployment will put those arguments array running on the playbook. So that means we have to change the playbook to use sudo password. So sudo password in hash. That's going to be needed. Set fact, no log true. So I'm sorry, but here we go. It's on the cloud config. It's gonna be the sudo password in hash. So if all goes well, I'm gonna refresh it, and it's taking some time, which is good. And we have a server, so it works. But something else failed, which is column private key of servers does not exist. What? Oh, that's right, it doesn't. And now we have the Ansible playbook output. Oh, but we have to run it again. Oh, that's bad. So the server, yeah, let's close it all together. So what's happening is that we try to create it with a private key, with a public key, which they don't have, and that's it. So the server will have sudo password encrypted, blah blah blah. So yeah, so let's see if we were to run this again, we would get the new server, I'm almost sure. Oh, sudo password of servers. So create servers table. Oh, fair enough, let's go. Oh, the spaces directory? Yeah. I guess we can make it a default over here, but yeah, also in the model, right? So the models, I guess it's better than in the migrations, which would be, yeah, here. So let's bring this back. So when we are creating server, what we'll do is server spaces directory. Is it set, or the default is gonna be, so default spaces directory is spaces, but it can be changed. That's what it's all about, right? Oh, damn it. So static default spaces directory, that's it. So if all goes well, We should have a server now. Oh, we will, but then it will fail something. Right. Oh, no, 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 no. Right. What happened? Because we reused the output, now things are out of sync. So what I'm gonna do is delete. I don't want to deal with out of sync data. So why would we want the private SSH keys? Because we probably could have to create. No, they're already created. So bam. What we need is like so. So, we will be more descriptive. Okay, Control R. And if all goes well, a new server will be created. And we have true, so stuff went well. So now I'm gonna destroy it. And I'm gonna use it on the UI, right? So all of this is not needed, so the SSH key doesn't exist. So when we go and deploy an Etzner VPS, yeah, we need to have a pre-made authorized key. So we would choose this, we would give the server a name, blah, 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 blah. Username, we can default to Alfredo, we would generate one. Just these SSH keys, I'm still not convinced. So when we are on the filament page, on the resource page, which is under servers, deploy Etzner VPS. These will have a Livewire VPS form, which indeed has a form. Okay. When we'll execute a deploy Etzner VPS, we need some args data from this get state. But the problem is the authorized SSH keys I'll remove it from now. I'll remove it. And what we do is we create one. So this form get state will bring authorized SSH keys. Exactly, so this is not very good. So we can add keys later, so whoop. Let's copy the field name, let's remove that field. the key name matches the key name in answer dashboard. That's all right. And then, so the payload, the arguments will be by spreading the form get state why do we receive the authorized SSH keys? Yeah, it's okay. These could be created right there. So these could be created, meaning, where is the test? Here it is. Yeah. So we do need to have a credential, but the API token, but the SSH key we should probably create it before. I mean here. But we need, no, the credential. Yeah, it will probably belong to a team, but now to a server. So these would be the public SSH keys to array. So we're gonna make exactly the public key in an array. We'll remove it like so. And once we handle that, okay, and let's hit the API. Bam, bam, bam. So, no, this is the authorized. This is nuts. This is a little bit nuts. We need to rewind a little bit. I got into a rabbit hole. Okay, so let's organize yet again. So, on the play, no, walk around, walk through, we can add I guess these we can even get from, yeah, so why are we, yeah, okay. We can add an API key for at last and then there. Okay, so those are credentials. And in credentials, we could have tokens and SSH keys. Would those be different? Oh, damn it. Yeah, I guess they could be different. So, so let's get filament docs and let's build it all together. Yeah, so we are being advised not to set up tenancy if it's a simple one-to-many. In your case, it's simpler and you don't need a many-to-many relationship. Yeah, so one user. Oh, one user has many. No, we'll do the whole thing. To set up tenancy, you'll need to specify the tenant. Oh wait, where's the credential? Yeah, so a credential belongs to a user. SSH key will belong to a server. I guess we don't need it. So I need to make a small test. Yeah, what about to generate this ginger? Okay, so we're gonna say these will not be credentials. These will be API tokens. We are going to remove so, and this token belongs to a user. It doesn't have a type, so enums credential type. It doesn't have a public or a private key, so what we can do is to create the SSH keys table. SSH keys table. So the API tokens won't have so or so. So there's the model for credential, which we can duplicate for SSH key. And we can take this one and change to API token. Oops, but this API token. Okay, we'll ensure like so because we'll have the table to be API tokens, and also on SSH key we'll have the table to be SSH keys. We won't have the type attribute on the SSH keys. We'll have private and public key. We will generate like so. Yeah, SSH key doesn't belong, it belongs to a server. Or to a space if it's a deploy key. But then it will be installed. Okay. Okay, SSH keys will delete value. SSH keys, it belongs to a server ID. It could be polymorphic. Relationship. So the server, blah blah blah, public, private, a comment. this is a but yeah. So Laravel docs, and what about polymorphic relationships? No, not factories. Relationship and one too many polymorphic. Yeah, the comments. Yeah. Post video. Retrieving. So would this be a table morphs SSH keyable? Keyable. Yeah. And will I, yeah, let's let it be. I think this is it. So there are the API tokens. So I guess we can have morphs the tokenable. And then if we want to change the owner, we would change, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. I guess it's a select, right? Morphs. Commentable. Morph to select. Yeah, I think that's, don't want to foresee it everything, so. Okay, API tokens does not exist. Yeah, right. So, let's see how much far ahead we can get right away. So, pages, resources, it's, oh. So the credential resource. Oh boy. Mutate data. Form data before create, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's make a filament resource, which will be called API token resource. Is that okay? And also SSH key resource. Is that okay? Also, I'm going to try something a little bit like filament v4. Okay, I like this so much better. Yeah. So the server resource will be there. This is the server. SSH key resource, it's inside here. And if all goes well, I mean, it could be inside there, and our credential resource is called credential only. This is custom, considered custom in filament v3, but I think, oh, credentials. Oh boy. So never mind what I said. It would be nice though. So let's pull all the credential server, all those refactors. So deleting the credential resource to credential, so set back, SSH key, API token, let's get it back, app filament resources, server, so back, the models are okay, API token, okay, create servers, bam. Okay, let's make this simpler. I'm sure I tried to tackle complexity right from beginning, and of course that beat me real quick. So API token, credential, server, SSH key. So yeah, those exist. So if I were to create API token resource and replace it with this one, let's see what we have. Admin, we have API tokens. So API token resource uses that model, so I'm gonna go and migrate fresh seed. And if all goes well, yeah, we are able to check the API tokens. So I'm just gonna go here and we'll say that navigation group can be credentials. App models credential. What happened? Ah, here it, yeah. Cool. So that credentials. Also, the title, the label is API token, and the plural label API tokens. So yeah. So these are tokens. So this is something. So what about the credential resource? So the form to create the token is, there's a name, and there's an API token section, which is just the value. Yeah, I'm a sucker for complexity. So, and then there's the name and created that in the table. We don't need it to be toggleable. So this is sort by sort. Oh, default sort. Right? Column created at descending. Can we edit a token? No. Can we bulk delete? No. And I think that's it for a token. Yeah, there were the two sections and etc. So token, new API token, name, value, and create null value in token. Yeah, that's on me. And the API tokens. Too many. Should I go for it? Yeah, I guess we can. So API token. Yeah, I'm saying I guess I can and I probably shouldn't. So API token as the value encrypted, generate, yeah, so in the user is going to be the morph many, right? No. The post is the owner. So this is going to be morph2 this was the tokenable, right? And on the tokenable, which is a user in this case, which could be a team later, it will have API tokens, which is a morph many, and we are morphing many API tokens via tokenable. So that sounds right. And also we might have a team that it will morph those. So creating an API token. We should now. Yeah, we have no idea. Is creating an API token. So retrieving the relationship. What we can do on the API token. On the create API token, same as here. What we're gonna do is, so the table, db table, whoops, no, db show API tokens is going to show the columns, no arguments, sorry, db table. So tokenable type and tokenable ID. So the tokenable type is going to be the user model, and the tokenable ID is going to be auth user ID. So if all goes well, blah 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 blah, create. Here we go. Now these API tokens are now all API tokens in the database. But we will have this querying where as morph this or that. Yeah, so that's what we'll have. So our API token resource will have the query, which we will return this query, and we will then say whereas morph, and this morph will be tokenable, and whereas morph relation type, so relation type types, so it will be a user, and this is going to be the callback, function builder query. What happened? So this one is one too much. No, and I think this is for a special use case. So what we have, this is here, and I think we should be good. But this is not enough. No, that was, oh, some kind of AI, or what happened? Where title? What do you mean without global scopes? What happened? Where did I copy from? No, so this was something not so good. Our callback will be in our user class where id equals auth user id. That's it. So this way we see this token, but if we were to go and change it, so let's say DCA Tinker, so token equals API token first, app models API token first. If I were to change token to tokenable ID equals 2, which doesn't exist, so problem. Token save. It's probably going to throw because, oh, it doesn't. It's not constrained. So if I were to refresh, it doesn't belong here now. So I'm gonna go and put it back to 1, and here we have it. So it didn't throw any error because these morphs, yeah, it can't be constrained, right? Because it might belong to multiple tables. So there we go. That's API tokens. We get those from the user. So that's it. So tokens is solved, it seems. I'll close this credential resource. Not close the chapter, like delete it. Like an AI key, so that can be handy. So the credentials, API tokens. That feels more to SSH keys, but that's okay. So let's make the filament resource for SSH keys. So similarly, SSH resource key, okay. Let's have both icons the same for now. And if we were into the API token resource, we would get like so. And we will get like so. Like so. On the SSH key, yeah, the model is okay. So it seems fine. What else? We need to go into SSH keys. New SSH key. But oh yeah, we can add the new SSH key. Oh, and now I see I did some poo-poo, but that's okay. You know why? Because we are going into the SSH key resource, and it's okay. We can get on the deleted stuff, the SSH key section. The thing we deleted was the generate key. I think we won't be doing those kinds of things. we were like having a button to generate the key, and then on a page we would have the method to return it. But I don't think that's we have a better way to do it, and we will do it right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to retrieve just the section for the SSH key, no button, so just these two buttons, hopefully, if all goes well. Public key is always required. Yeah, of course you still don't know about it, and yeah, so this is always required, and I guess that's it. So if you want to create an SSH key, bam, bam, create, and keyable type. Oh, right. So what we need to do is similarly to mutating date form data, we will also be on the create SSH key, and instead of tokenable, couldn't this be null? Why would we create a key and not be yeah, I think we would never be creating one here. So let's wait a moment. I think we wouldn't be creating a key here. So let's remove the edit also here. And on the list SSH keys, we won't have the create action. So what we do is we have the SSH keys, and that's it. We can list them when they exist. And I guess that's it. I'll make a folder SSH keys. And I will put this action in there. Also this one. Okay. And now we need to have an API token so we can use it. And from there, we can be on a server and install a public key. But it can belong to many servers. That's a many to many. Yeah, it is a many to many. Okay, so it seems I'll have a lot to figure out. And I'm kind of bummed that I'm so lonely today. Well, that's life. No one out there. No one chats. Say something if you're out there. So, what we need is like, well, we need to move. We need to move. And I think that key will not be owned by only one. There will be a many to many. They can be just used all around, but also, does it exist like a many to many polymorphic? OMG, yeah. So the post, the videos, and the tags exist. Yeah, and then the tagables. Posts and videos both have tags. Okay. So where am I going? Where am I going with this? This SSH key no way. Am I going back so that each server has one? No. I would hate that to be the case. I'm walking a little bit in circles, it seems. But the token, good news, is done. But the key is kind of hard. But I guess if a space can have a key, yeah, but I guess those could be just, yeah, so one of them as the other and one of them as the other. So the same key. What is the key that Alfredo is using to connect to the server? It's the key to that server. Right? I think so. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I have some thinking to do, and I think we'll be back after that. I want to thank everyone who was watching with me, although not so much chat today. I don't know why. I hope I would understand why, but I don't. So, yeah, I want to thank you all who joined and watched, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.